Hello. Today I have a request to make this object that you see up here on the screen in Fusion 360. Someone out there has an idea that's similar to this and they don't know how to make it. And I think this is a good example of something to do. I do assume that you have some knowledge of Fusion, and I'll try to take it nice and slow. Okay, so I'm in Fusion already, and I've got a folder, and I've created a file called Drain Cover V1. So the first thing we're going to do, and we're not going to use precise measurements. Unfortunately, when you look through here and you do the product specifications, it doesn't really have much of dimensions. It says diameter 4 inches. Well, is that the diameter on the top here or on the bottom? And I don't think it really matters as long as I can show how to make this object. Okay, so the first step I'm going to do in Fusion is I'm going to click on Create Sketch. And I like working on this particular plane, like I'm from the top down. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a center diameter circle by clicking up there. And let's just give us a number of 60 millimeters. Okay, so I type in my 60, I hit enter, and there's our initial circle. And that's going to be the inner diameter of this little tube over here. Our next thing to do is we're going to do an offset. So we're going to go create, oh no, there it goes. Sorry, small brain fart. Here we go, offset. So we click on offset, we click on our circle, and it's going to say 1 millimeter, let's say 5 millimeters. And you see we've got this new circle out here, so that's 5 millimeters. So that'll be the outside of our bottom tube here. And we'll make it nice and thick. So 5 millimeters is probably pretty good. So we're going to hit OK. Then, if we look at our object, there it sticks out at the top. And that looks like it's pretty decent line. So let's say we're going to make another offset over here. And we're going to make it 15 millimeters. So it's 10 millimeters outside of our other offset. And we'll hit OK. A note here is that you can't create an offset, at least the last time I tried it didn't work, of an offset. It doesn't seem, it wants to do something different. So always do an offset, even if it's multiple offsets from your original circle. Okay, so that looks pretty good. At least enough for a start. So we'll hit Finish Sketch. And let's give that sketch a name. I found my sketch. I'm going to call it Base Circles, just so that we have a name on it. Now that I finished that sketch, I'm going to click on Profile here, and that's going to be my wall. So I'm going to hit Extrude, the letter E, or I could have clicked on this guy here, it's highlighted, and let's have it go up, I don't know, 30 millimeters. Well, that seems kind of small. Let's go with 50. There we go. All right, and that's going to create a new body. There are no other bodies, so it's going to be a new body. And I'm going to hit enter. So that's 50 millimeters tall. Now you'll notice it made my original sketch disappear when I did that, which I'm not particularly happy with. Okay, so our next step here is we need to create this top lip. Okay, so we're going to create the sketch, and we're going to click the flat top of our cylinder here. There we go. I'm going to click on the outside line. This is from our other sketch. And we're going to get Create, Project Include, Project. And it's already got my my circle selected, so I'm just going to hit OK. And then I'm going to hide that first sketch. And now this circle is actually on my current sketch. If I click on this rotate tool, you see it's now on the top here. So our next step is to click Finish. Okay, and it seems to have lost the name of my sketch. So let's rename it again. Base Sketch. And now we're going to call this the upper sketch. Alright, so now we're up here. We're going to click this profile and this profile, and we're going to press the letter E for extrude. And let's have it go up 5 millimeters. Okay, and it's going to join it to that bottom piece, which I'm fine with right now. We could create a separate object and join them later. So here we go. We've got our tube. We've got our top. And, okay, so we need, let's go back a little bit. So I'm going to click on my extrude over here. And I had to hit escape. I hit right click, and I'm going to edit feature. And I'm going to click on the center profile. Okay, if you could see that, I'm going to go to bodies, hide that body, and click on that. So we need to click on the center profile as well, and then hit OK. So now I'll bring that back in. So now we've got a solid lid on the top here. But now we've got to cut holes in the top that kind of match what's over here. You might not do it exactly, but you'll get the idea of how to do it. So I'm going to create a sketch, and it's going to be on the top this time. And I'm going to bring back our other sketches, and I'm going to click on this inner diameter line, and I'm going to project it up. Create, project include, project. And I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to hide the body and those other sketches. Okay, so now if I rotate a little bit, you'll see that we've got a shadow of the outside, and we've got a line, a circle, for the inner diameter. So all of our stuff needs to be on this inner diameter. So I'm going to click on top over here, so I'm looking at top down, and I'm going to draw, I'm going to draw a line. And we're going to put it here. And we'll draw it out to here. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to press the letter L and draw a line out to here. You know, I think I need to make it 10 millimeters. And I'm going to hit the letter D and click on this guy. And we're going to make sure he's 10 millimeters. So it's nice and rounded off. We'll bring this down here like that. Okay, so we've got two 10 millimeter lines in this bottom quadrant here. And then I'm going to do an arc. So I go create, arc, 3-point arc. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to zoom in here with my mouse wheel, and I'm going to click on this point and this point, and then I'm going to just draw my curve. I think that's reasonable, like that, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so now we've got one of our shapes that's going to be around our circle, and I'm going to click on that profile. I'm going to go create circular pattern and select objects. So I'll select our 3 lines here. Unfortunately didn't keep them. And center point, I'll hit collect. I clicked on select here, and here's There's our center point. And now you see it draws a couple of them around. So I'm going to click 4, and then we've got our 4 outside pieces. That looks perfect. Well, for just kind of throwing stuff up there. So now we've got 4 holes. Here we go. I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And those are our corner holes from up here. So now we've got to do our 4 straight holes. So we're going to go and let's create a cube this time. We'll do a 3-point cube. And we'll kind of be like in the middle here to here, and then draw it down kind of in line with the bottom of that. Alright, I'm going to hit the enter button. I'm going to press the letter D, and I'm going to click these 2, and it's going to give me a distance. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to click these 2 lines here, and we'll get a distance, and we can see it's off by a little. So let's make this 5, enter, and that's just off 5 there. Now, if I were doing this as like a commission piece, I would probably go ahead and line everything up a lot better than this. But that's pretty good. So I'm going to hit escape because it's still on a dimension tool. I'm going to go create circular pattern again. And I'm going to select my lines. Okay, and then we're going to click center point over here. And we'll select our center point again. And for whatever reason, they like defaulting it to 3, but here we go. We get to 4, and that looks beautiful. Okay. All right, so we're going to hit OK. You know what I could do? Let's go ahead and check the width of this. So maybe that's part of my problem. Made that 10. If I double click there, I can make that 5. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's still not the greatest. And then what we want to do is we're going to want to have one of these cubes in the center. So I'm going to go create rectangular pattern. And we'll click on these lines like we did before. And you see you get these arrows here. I'm going to just pull an arrow. And made quantity 3. They love 3 for some reason. I'm going to bring that down to 2. That didn't have the effect I wanted to. Make that 2. Okay. So now I've got one new cube that's going to be created, but it's way off. So we do, instead of doing extent, I do spacing. And we put in a distance here. This says 20 millimeters negative. Let's do minus 10. And that's too close, so let's do minus 15. And that looks pretty good, so we'll hit OK. And I think that's how we're going to do our cuts. So we'll click Finish Sketch. And let's bring in our bodies again. Made them separate bodies accidentally. So we can fix that though. If we click on these 2 bodies like that, up here in Tools, there's the Combine. And there we go. It's one body now. Target body, tool body, join. Okay. And now we have one body, as you can see over here. So we'll just go over here and we'll type in the word drain. Okay. So now, this would be very arduous if we had to do it for all of them. I'm just left clicking with the shift button on to select all my profiles for my cut. I'm going to click on extrude. And this time, I'm just going to pull the arrow, and you see how it's red. And we'll just pull it all the way down. And it's on cut by default because it's cutting through. I'm going to click on this little rotate tool and see, okay, that I can see right through that. That looks pretty good. We'll hit OK. Okay, there we go. And now we've got our cuts in our drain. It doesn't look exactly like that, but it looks pretty good. And if I hit the rotate tool we can see what we've wrought here. We could have made these go a little bit bigger, but I leave that up to you. And we can just save. And now that we're done, we can hit OK on that. We can right-click on Drain and save as STL, and that'll create Drain.stl. And then you can take that to Cura or any other slicer and slice that up and put it through your printer. All right, thank you.